Good morning. Hope you are doing well. And let us start with our lecture today to continue our chapter about communicating in a diverse world. Just a quick revision of what we have discussed last time. We were talking about how to communicate and be an effective communicator, taking into consideration the diversity of cultures and diversity of people outside the borders of your country. So, assuming that all people, they are different, you must respect these differences. Why? Because it's very important that anybody, he is very proud of his values, he's very proud of his culture, and so on. So, showing your respect to these differences is a starting point for an effective communication process. So last time we stopped on overcoming ethnocentrism and stereotyping. What do you mean by ethnocentrism? Ethnocentrism from the word ethnic, which means that considering your origin, your ethnicity is superior to other people and to other nations, which means that you have the tendency to judge all other groups, they are inferior to you and you are superior to them. So if you judge them according to the standards, behaviors, and customs of your own group, this means that you will conclude that you are better than them, which means that ethnocentrism is very active in this manner. In addition, some people, they are inclined to stereotype other people, which means that you will give an inaccurate view of other cultures, which means that you will assign generalized attributes to individuals on the basis of their membership to a particular group or particular family or particular nation and certain society. For instance, if we consider the elderly people, they are out of touch of the young people nowadays and the Y generation. This means that we are stereotyping elderly as being out of touch of other generations. In addition, stereotyping women as less capable than men. There are key aspects of cultural diversity, and we should accommodate the differences based on these diverse cultural aspects. What we are talking about here is the cultural context of the people and societies in other parts of the world, all over the world. There are different and diverse cultural settings of nations, of societies that they have been brought up and they are proud of their culture and of their value. Moreover, legal and ethical considerations. So legal, it concerns the laws of the governments and the ethical standards that are being accepted wherever you go in any society, and even you have a global ethical standard that you should respect. Moreover, diversity comes from the social customs. Social customs of people, they stem from their culture, from their values. For this reason, you should accommodate the differences concerning differences in social customs. In communicating, some cultures, they are inclined to use non-verbal signals. So you should understand and you should respect their use of those non-verbal signals, because these actions, they consider them as they facilitate their way of communicating with others. Differences in age. So, as we said, elderly people and young people. So, usually, the young people, they should pay respect to the elderly wherever they are. And respecting these differences is very effective in the communication process. In gender differences between males, females. So, gender, we should consider that women, they are equal to men, and they are capable of dealing in business and doing their roles in the society in a good manner. Religion Also, there are so many differences in religions, especially in some parts of the world where they worship certain things that other cultures or other religions, they look at them as if they are not real and they should not do so. The ability differences, which means that considering that there are some people who are being disabled either physically or mentally, and you should respect their disability and you should not make fun of it. Okay, how we can approach communication and consider the cultural differences. People usually, in communicating, differentiate between two styles. We have differences in cultures. We have the cultures who are high context, in addition to cultures who are low context. What do we mean by low context and high context cultures? This refers to the value culture places on direct and indirect communication. Let us look and see what do we mean by high context cultures first. In those cultures, usually people rely on implicit words, which are hidden words, and they consider the environmental setting or the situational setting to convey the message. They use signals and hints, such as gestures and voice tone. These cultures, mainly or mostly, they are collectivist cultures. They value interpersonal relationships and they value getting together. They form close, stable relationships with other people. Among those, Asian countries or Asian cultures, African and the Arabs are of this type. They are high context cultures. On the other side, we have the low context cultures. In these cultures, usually, people relied on explicit, obvious words. So they want to see something which is being said or written. They value written communication to convey the meaning of what you want to send to the receiver of the message. In addition, they convey meaning in encoded or set actual message so that you will understand what do they mean in their communication with you. Among those, the Americans and most of the Western societies or Western cultures are of this type. Here, there are certain principles which are considered ethically important to communicating across cultures. First of all, you must seek and search for mutual grounds, a certain point to agree with other people in order to facilitate your communication process with them. If you agree on certain items, on certain principles, that you would see that they will act exactly like you, then this is a good starting point for a mutual ground and mutual respect with other people. When you send or receive message, don't judge it or don't consider it with misjudgment, because if you explain any message that you will receive in a passive manner, this means that it will create conflict with the sender. And in this way, you should give him or you should give the sender the benefit of the doubt that he did not mean so, because he might express the word or express the message in a certain manner which he did not mean a bad thing in it. Moreover, be honest in sending messages. This is very important, because in this way you will make the other side trust you and consider you an honest person and an ethical person. Very important matter that you should show your respect to other people's differences. People are different, and this is a fact. You cannot change people because they come from different societies, they have different backgrounds, and don't consider yourself superior to them. So it's very important to show your respect wherever you are or wherever you are communicating with people. Here, we will talk about the legal and ethical considerations. In low context cultures, they value the written word, which means that written agreements, they are binding, they are obligatory, which means they also value the letter of the law. If agreements are binding, this means that whatever the law would say, we should respect the law as it is being set in a certain culture or a certain country. In high context cultures, usually they put less emphasis on the written word. Why? Because they set emphasis on personal promises and personal relations with other people. They are very important in contracts. Moreover, the law to them is very flexible. So we can reckon that the law is not very strict in certain manner, and we can, with our connections, with our relations with other people, impact certain laws in order to facilitate our interaction and the contracts with each other. So the legal and ethical differences here is shown in this figure. To the left, the high context, and to the right, we have the low context. In the high context, as we explained, personal commitment is important. Relationship. Here, the law is flexible. Meanwhile, in the low context cultures, written agreements, they are binding and they value the letter of the law. So these are the main frame which we talked about in the previous slide about the differences between low and high cultures in a certain manner. Next time, inshallah, we will talk about social custom and behavior in a explained manner. So leave you in peace, take care, and see you inshallah next time. Bye bye.